Now for the steps in starting the dog in scent work, we're always going to start off with classical conditioning. So we're going to go through this. My demonstration is going to come up next, but for the first portion of it, it's going to be strictly getting a colander or any aerated, any object that you can train the dog to alert their nose on, where the scent is protruding through the object, but also the dog is not able to get to the object and kind of meddle with the scent container. So we use here a colander, and you're typically just um, either conditioning by leading the dog into the colander or dropping the kibble kind of as a preempting. But essentially, we are have a scent mark colander. You have your dog approach the colander, and we want to. The final behavior that we want is to have the dog stick their nose directly on object on the scent, and hold the duration and then the precision where their nose is slightly tucked and directly onto the scent. They're smelling it and they're freezing completely. We want their body to be as straight as possible, so as to it's the easiest, or so it's not to misinterpret their body posture for any false alerts. But essentially, we're going to start off with that. That's going to be the first step, is setting the foundation for the alert, which is again colander, nose down directly into the colander, slightly tucked in, holding for duration, and then we're of course going to start rewarding with treats, and we're going to shape until we can get that behavior. So it starts off with them approaching the colander. If they can approach easily, then we want to get their head into the colander. If they can get their head into the colander easily, then we want to have them slightly tuck their nose directly onto the colander, onto the scent within the colander. If they do that freely, and then we want to hold some duration, and then we gradually build on these steps, and as they become successful in each training session, then you'll move on to the next kind of level of difficulty. So again, starting off with approaching the colander, investigating it, we want to reward them from that, give them a treat. If they, as soon as they get their head in the colander, then we want to kind of mark and repeatedly treat inside the colander, so that their behavior of learning is so that their head is always going to be inside the colander, and we repeat these as many times as needed until the dog starts either offering behaviors or accidentally provides the behavior which you want, which is a little bit of precision, where it's simply just tucking their nose directly onto the scent, so that a really definitive body posture. Once they can get that, and they're 100% successful with that behavior, and can do that with no errors, then we're going to start adding duration of it. So we're going to get them into that posture. We're not going to treat until they can hold it for a second or for however long they can do. We would treat them for that, repeat over and over a gradual amount of training sessions until they know that, okay, I know that this colander with this scent, with my head in this position, with this delay in my waiting, is going to give me a reward, and so forth. And that's how we're going to start it. And then we're going to, from there, then we're going to move into the next part, which is kind of increasing the difficulty.